Now at 5. Did DC's crime crisis factor into the decision to move the Caps and Wizards to Alexandria? Virginia's Attorney General weighs in. 3 different alerts over 3 days as a major storm system approaches the DMV. Also, his mother was the nation's first female officer to die in the line of duty. Tonight, the painful path his life took after that tragic day in D.C.
And we start with a live look outside. It's nice right now, but we're tracking some changes heading our way this weekend.
That's right. 7 News Chief Meteorologist Veronica Johnson is in the First Alert Weather Center with what you'll need to prepare for. And VJ, what's in store for us this weekend?
Yeah, as you heard, 3 different alerts. It starts with this weekend's flood alert for Sunday. During the evening and overnight, we're expecting some pretty heavy rain. Rainfall totals could exceed 2 inches with those downpours. There may be some airport delays and definitely some road delays. That's what I'm looking at here. Where's the storm system right now? Well, here's where we are. That storm system way out here in the nation's midsection, Kansas, Nebraska, down toward Dallas, Texas, and also an area of low pressure. Both of these coming together. This one kind of out of the Gulf of Mexico that's going to fuel the storm system with a whole lot of moisture. I mean, imagine if this were in the dead of winter with that kind of moisture. We'd be shoveling a lot of snow. Right now, clear outside there with temperatures coming in at 57 degrees. Your winds out of the west-northwest at 8 miles per hour. So feels like 57. Like that, at least it's mild here. We've got evening temperatures that will drop down to the lower 40s by 10 p.m. Again, skies still clear. I'm back in a few moments with a look at your hourly forecast for Saturday. Easily the best day out of the weekend, and we'll talk about the other 2 alerts for early next week.
All right, VJ, talk to you then. Now to another look at a story that continues to dominate social media right now. The Washington Capitals and Wizards on the verge of moving to Northern Virginia. That move by Monumental Sports is sparking conversation and raising the question if DC's crime crisis played a role. As
7 News reporter Nick Minach joins us live in Alexandria with the story. And Nick, you spoke with Virginia's Attorney General and several DC council members. What are they saying about this?
Yeah, we did. Well, right now, no one from Monumental has publicly said whether or not DC's crime crisis has had anything to do with this potential move here to Alexandria, but it's certainly on the minds of a lot of people.
Is rising crime in the district why the Washington Wizards and the Capitals are looking to move to Virginia? 7 News asked Virginia Attorney General Jason Miyares and D.C. City Council member Robert White that question.
I think they mainly looked at Virginia because we're open for business. I think the governor has shown that. But I would say from just an 80,000 feet view, it is clear to me that crime is having an impact in the district in its entirety. The murder rate is out of control.
Crime is real in D.C. right now. It is the #1 concern for most people. But Monumental leaving isn't something that started a few weeks or a few months ago. It started a few years ago.
Regardless of what is driving the Wizards and the Capitals to move to Virginia, Councilmember White is alarmed about the impacts this would have on D.C.
This is a huge loss that has so many ripples. Monumental brings in tens of millions of dollars every year that we use for schools, for city programs, for safety net programs. They also employ hundreds of people. But beyond that, there are so many restaurants and local businesses that rely on that foot traffic. So if Monumental goes, then so many of our other local businesses are going to suffer as well. More job losses, more revenue loss.
And D.C. Council member Zachary Parker says he's going to fight to the very end to keep the teams in the district.
The mayor has put forth a generous offer of some $500 million, and we are advancing legislation to drive down crime, and I'm confident we will be able to do that. I want to make it clear, though, we are still willing and able to partner with Monumental to keep these teams here in the district.
And Parker says this is not a done deal. He says this isn't over. And when it comes to crime, Councilmember White told 7 News that he's focused on accountability. He says if there is no accountability, crime in the district will continue to spiral out of control. Live in Alexandria, Nick Minach, 7 News.
Nick, thank you. Over in Maryland, Governor Wes Moore says state officials will vote next week on the Baltimore Orioles' new lease at Camden Yards. That agreement is set to go before the Maryland Stadium Authority on Monday. Now, the current lease expires at the end of this year. In September, the Orioles announced a new 30-year deal to stay at the historic park.
And covering Metro now, we are just days away from Metro's next service shutdown. Starting Monday, several Red Line stations will close for some maintenance work. And our Tom Rousey is live now with those details. Tom, this comes, as you've been saying, as Metro launches 24-hour bus service.
Yeah, Megan, I guess we'll give you the good news first. Starting basically Saturday night into the early hours of Sunday morning, 7 days a week, 24 hours a day, 14 bus lines will run 24 hours here in Washington. For instance, here on Pennsylvania Avenue, 2 of these lines, the 32 and the 92, will be among those running 24 hours a day. But, you know, Metro giveth and Metro taketh away, because there's also a Red Line closure you need to know about that starts Monday.
Starting Monday, riders will not be able to take Red Line trains here at Metro Center until New Year's Eve. The closure starting Monday will last through December 30th. Most of that time, there will be no Red Line service between DuPont Circle and Gallery Place. And Farragut North and the Red Line level of Metro Center will close. But from December 22nd through Christmas Eve, there will be no Red Line between DuPont Circle and Union Station, with Judiciary Square and the Red Line level of Gallery Place also closing. Although Red Line trains won't run on the upper level of Metro Center and for a briefer time Gallery Place, riders can still catch other trains on the lower levels. We asked Metro leaders why now, as many riders go downtown for holiday events.
Tom, what we've learned over the years is there's no good time to shut down anything.
So we said, what is the least impact? And it's 40% less riders during this 2-week upcoming period than any other time of the year.
Metro will be installing cables, replacing platform lights, plus working on the tracks and plugging up tunnel leaks. But the biggest thing, replacing a large part of a concrete ceiling dating to the 70s.
That will eventually fail if we don't go in there and fix that. So it's safe right at the moment, but we can't keep kicking that down the road.
On a more positive note, Saturday night into Sunday morning, Metro launches 24-hour bus service on 14 of the busiest bus routes in D.C. All 8 wards will have a 24-hour bus, something D.C. Councilmember Charles Allen pushed for.
We know it's great for our workers, it's great for our riders, it's great for our businesses.
All right, back out here live, you see people waiting for one of the buses we're talking about that's going to run 24 hours. You may be wondering, okay, didn't Metro just propose a bunch of budget cuts that would involve buses? Why in the world would they also start the same week 24-hour bus service? Well, the reason is, and Charles Allen, the council member you heard from, really pushed for this, the D.C. Council voted to give Metro $12 million specifically to start 24-hour bus service, and that's why they are launching it at this time. By the way, if you want to see exactly which 14 routes are going to run 24 hours, we have listed them in an article on our website, WJLA.com. Reporting live along Pennsylvania Avenue in Southeast D.C., I'm Tom Rousey, 7 News.
All right, Tom, we can count on you to explain it all for us. 7 News with 5 stops at 5 now, covering stories happening around the DMV. Our first stop takes us to the nation's capital. One person is in the hospital with life-threatening injuries after they got hit by a car this morning on the GW Parkway. The accident led to road closures, but the northbound lanes did reopen this afternoon, and we're still working to get information on whether or not the driver will face any charges.
Our next stop takes us to Montgomery County. Charges are pending against a driver after a crash involving a police cruiser. Skytrack 7 was over the scene moments after it happened, right at the intersection of Spartan Road and Olney Sandy Spring Road. So far, no word on what led to that accident or if there were any injuries.
In the district now, Mayor Bowser led a groundbreaking ceremony for a new college prep center in D.C. And the mayor's office says this center will expand the city's educational programs for young adults. And the new prep academy will be located on U Street. Construction will start next year, and it's expected to open in 2025.
In Arlington, the National Cemetery is getting ready for the annual Wreaths Across America celebration. And tomorrow, up to 60,000 people are expected to help lay 150,000 holiday wreaths on the headstones of our service members buried there. Earlier today, a number of private wreath-laying ceremonies took place at monuments all around the area. They'll be placed at Arlington National Cemetery tomorrow morning, starting at 8. And you can still sign up to volunteer at wreathsacrossamerica.org.
Our last stop takes us to Prince George's County. Today, some students got to take home some new coats for the holidays. And the county's Office of Community Relations held its annual Assembly Coat Drive. And the event aims to give kids warm clothes for winter while also sparking their curiosity in STEM programs.
Well, after 50 years in journalism, 7 News DC Bureau Chief Sam Ford is saying farewell. All day long, we have been taking a trip down memory lane. During his 36 years in DC, Sam has met a ton of people out there. Now, some of those community members would like to wish Sam good luck in the next chapter of his life. Take a listen.
ACC congratulates Sam.
People were in trouble, they would call 911 or had issues, call 911. But the other three-letter or three-numbered word was call Sam Ford. He was there for the community, for the good events, for the youth, for issues in the community that no one else would listen to. So again, Sam, job well done. We're gonna miss you, but best wishes on your next chapter, and we love you from DC.
Happy retirement, Sam. Hey Sam, congratulations on your retirement, man. You're a legend in DC. I've been watching you ever since I was a little kid, man. So enjoy your retirement, it's well deserved.
Good luck, Sam, in your retirement. And now that you will no longer be a full-time journalist, then if you're looking for something to do, please consider joining the board of the Anacostia Coordinating Council.
Hey Sam, we love you. You've blessed us. You continue to bless us. We're just thankful for you. Take care and keep moving.
Congratulations. It's an honor to know you. It's an honor to call you a friend. Congratulations, Mr. Ford. Peace.
Well, have a long and happy retirement. You deserve it. You've certainly done so much for the city in terms of your reporting and your journalism. It's appreciated, and it's always been an honor and pleasure for me to work with you.
So, from all of us here in the DMV, especially DC and in Ward 8, we welcome your retirement because that means we're going to see more of you in our community. Thank you so much for your years of service to the DMV.
On behalf of the Baloo Majestic March and Night, we would like to say,
congratulations, Sam Ford, on your retirement.
We love you!
Here we go!
Woo! Woo! Woo!
And we are back with another tribute to DC Bureau Chief Sam Ford. He is retiring today after 36 years at 7 News and more than 50 years in the business. Amazing.
It is bittersweet today, but his longtime partner, video journalist Peggy Gilgannon, sat down with him to talk about his career highlights, including one story that he recalls vividly.
One of my favorite experiences at Peggy was here at Channel 7. Was when Jerry Rawlings, who was the president of Ghana, came to visit Bill Clinton. And Rawlings had offered African Americans dual citizenship. And so I heard that, and I wanted to know if it was true. So I, told the news director, I'd like to go to the White House today and do this story. And so he said, okay, go on over there. So I went to the White House, and that Rawlings and Clinton were going to have a joint news conference, right? And so, how it's a pecking order, right? I mean, there's the American press here, and then there's the other country's press here.
Yeah.
And so, if you're not from the New York Times or CBS News or something, they're not going to call on you. You're not going to get a question there. But I'm black, so I said. On the Ghanaian side, right? And there was no real press corps from Ghana anyway. I mean, so, but it's like, okay, the American press gets to ask the question, then the Ghanaian press gets to ask the question. And so when it came to the Ghanaian press, I stood up and I said, oh, I'm on the wrong side. But since I'm up, I have a question. I said to Rawlings, I said,
well, I've heard that Ghana is offering some sort of dual citizenship to African Americans. Is that true? What does it mean? And what's the reasoning behind it?
And he said, it is absolutely true. And he went through the whole thing as to, what they were talking about. And so Bill Clinton wanted to say something, so he grabbed Clinton by his hand and he says, this is my question.
Wow.
So he just stood there holding Clinton's hand the whole time. And our photographer was Steve Athens.
Oh,
and,
wow.
And he was a big person in the White House Photographers Association. He said, Sam, you gotta hold in hands. Photographers had never seen the president holding another man's hand on stage
you
before.
Created the news. Wow.
I mean, these stories all day. We could just listen to these. They're incredible. You can watch this full interview right now up on WJLA.com, and all night long we'll be celebrating Sam's long and historic career. Stay with us. Coming up at 5:45, we'll hear from the journalist Sam Met. We're rushing from story to story, and he'll join us in studio again as we take a walk down memory lane. Make sure to tune in at 6 p.m. for the big send-off.
I love that. You can better believe that Sam's going to get that question in there, right?
Oh, yes. And that was so neat. That video is amazing. And we are going to turn to weather now. Veronica Johnson is your forecast in 30 seconds.
That's right. We'll get back to Sam Ford and some of those great stories in just a moment. Good evening, everyone. Chief Meteorologist Veronica Johnson here. Looking ahead for you, we're on flood alert Sunday, more specifically for Sunday evening, Sunday night. That'll go right into early Monday morning, as we are expecting quite a bit of rain, just like last weekend, if you remember, and it'll come with some wind too. Right now, just pretty quiet out there. Clear skies. We've got mainly light winds across the area. 57 degrees in the district, 52 Martinsburg, not bad there. Gaithersburg at 49 degrees right now, my cool spot in 50 in Fredericksburg. So for dinner time forecast, we'll see our temperatures drop some 10 degrees between 6 p.m. and 8 p.m. this evening, and then we'll hold in the upper 30s for most of the evening hours. Overnight, though, temperatures by morning mid-20s once again through Fairfax County and into areas of northern Fauquier County. That's the colder pocket for early Saturday morning. 32 up at Marburg, 29 degrees Gaithersburg, only 32 starting out early in Leonardtown. So that drive in will be cold. Maybe you're headed into D.C. Or Arlington National Cemetery. Such a big crowd that comes to help for this. The Reeves across America. You know why. 36 degrees at 8 a.m., 46 by 10 a.m., and then 53 by noon. Temperatures will rise very quickly tomorrow as we're headed up to 56 degrees. Just a few high clouds by the afternoon with those east to northeasterly winds. Out ahead of this big system, big storm system, big complex here. Severe weather threat, heavy rain, almost tropical style moisture for Florida, for Georgia, for the Carolinas too. So there'll be some flood concerns through here as well as around our area by Sunday night. That's 10 p.m. System still south of us, and then kind of overspreading the area by 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock Monday morning. So this is going to be a slow moving system with a lot of rain. Flood alert and travel delays by air, by road too. I've got the accumulating rainfall here, and I'm going to stop it there at 7 p.m. Not much by 7 p.m. So again, that's why we said really it's the flood alert for the overnight period. 1 inch by 11 p.m. could pick up another 2 inches, maybe more by 1 o'clock in the morning Monday, and then another inch as we step into 6 a.m. Monday. So Monday morning rush looking like it's going to be a mess with a lot of standing water on area roads. We're not done there, because now you mix in the wind. We've got the wind alert. Wind gusts could be around 40 miles per hour, and a cold alert Monday. Still some wind left. Wind chill temperatures Monday morning in the teens and 20s, and then next week we quiet down with winter beginning on Thursday. High temperature of 50 degrees. I'm back in just a few moments. We'll take a look at your future radar locally.
All right, VJ, thank you. The Washington Commanders return to action after their bye week. Some of the players share how they plan on leaving La La Land with a win. Sports is next.
We are getting closer and closer to Sunday. The Washington Commanders flying out west for a showdown inside SoFi Stadium against the LA Rams. Coming off the bye week, the Commanders should be well rested on that football field. It's a tough matchup. The Rams are dynamic on offense with quarterback Matthew Stafford and wide receiver Cooper Kupp. Let's not forget about Aaron Donald on defense either. Washington hoping to end that 4-game losing streak and leave Hollywood with a big W.
We got to be able to capitalize in the gotta-have-it situations. We haven't been the best at that this season, but if we could be good in the red zone and 3rd and short, and even if we have to be the 4th and short, then I think we have a chance to extend drives, and a defense like that, then you put a little bit more pressure on them to stay on the field.
We playing, for the team, our families, the name on our back, you know what I'm saying? So, it's a lot of pride that come into it. You're not going to just lay down and let nobody do nothing, just run over you.
All right, in a couple of hours, the Wizards return to the court hosting Indiana. All the talk at shoot-around today was about the expected move of the franchise across the river to Alexandria. Washington forward Anthony Gill sharing his thoughts about the proposed plan of a new arena.
Initially, you hear the news and you think, wow, this is amazing. We get a new facility,
new practice facility, new arena. This is going to be great. Then you do think about all the other things that come along with it, like you know, the people here in D.C. who've given so much, and we still love our fans so much, and we're committed to each and every one of them.
Great answer there by Anthony Gill. And hey, it's bobblehead season for the Wizards, unveiling for the district campaign, honoring those who have made an impact in D.C. The bobbleheads will feature Ben's Chili Bowls, Virginia Ali, tennis star Francis Tiafoe, and rapper Pusha T. The January 15th game will be the Virginia Ali giveaway. February 10th puts the spotlight on Tiafoe, and March 17th will be all about Pusha T. So I love how every year they have different bobbleheads to just show recognition to those that make a big impact on our region. Personally, I'm a big tennis guy. I got to get me a Francis Tiafoe bobblehead.
I love it. I love that Virginia Ali one as well.
That's a classic
Another icon in the city.
Add it to the desk.
Scott.
Yep. Thanks,
guys.
Scott.
People always say, give me a Eskimo smooch, and we rub our noses together like Eskimos.
Well, still ahead for us, a man behind bars talks about the moment that changed his life forever. His mother becoming the first female officer to die in the line of duty. The story a decade in the making that you just have to see.
And as we head to break, another live look outside. The First Alert weather team tracking our next weather maker. VJ's back with a look at rain heading our way.
We are back at 5:30 with a story that has been years in the making. As many of you may have heard, today is Sam Ford's last day before retiring from 7 News.
And Sam, we understand that you had one story that you wanted to get on the air before you left. It took years for this to come together. Please tell us about this story.
Yes, Megan and Carl. Well, in the September of 1974, a D.C. police officer named Gail Cobb was killed in the line of duty, the first ever, we believe. Well, about 10 years ago, her son called me, or at least wrote me, and asked me to do a story on him. It didn't work out then, but this time it did. We talked to her son, Damon Cobb.
I had come home from nursery school that day, and you know, everyone was sitting around the living room crying and stuff.
53-year-old Damon Cobb remembering 49 years ago when his mother, 24-year-old MPD officer Gail Cobb, became the first female officer in the U.S. killed in the line of duty. She'd followed a bank robbery suspect into a downtown parking garage who shot and killed her as she called for backup.
She would always say, give me a Eskimo smooch, and we would rub our noses together like Eskimos.
A single mom, they lived with her parents, Gloria and Clinton Cobb, married now 75 years. They still keep a memorial to her, the letter of condolence from President Gerald Ford, the boots she wore, her MPD badge. The city recently renamed their street Gail Cobb Way.
He loved to visit his mother's grave quite often. We would go there just so he could visit with her.
But also money poured in. Donations for young Damon, $140,000, nearly $900,000 in today's money. And by the time he was 18, he demanded it. Had lots of new friends, and it was gone in 6 months.
It wasn't my intention to, you know, just blow the money. I was gonna spend some and save the rest, make investments, whatever.
Today, he's an inmate at Eastern Correctional Institution in Maryland for the shooting death of 21-year-old Gerald Weaver in Prince George's County. Cobb's motive was to impress friends, prosecutors argued.
You know, I've been in prison 31 years for something I didn't do.
You had 2 trials.
Yes, and
hung jury the first time.
Yeah, 10-2 in favor of acquittal.
And then the second time, you were convicted. His grandparents say they saw it coming, those friends who came with the money.
You could look right through them and tell they were thugs, and he was well on his way to being one, too.
Cobb notes that he's been in prison twice as long as John Bryant, his mother's killer. The parole board has looked at his case, but so far, no luck. You think you eventually will get out?
Man, prayerfully so.
Yeah.
I'm confident, but it seems like the way my life go, it ain't no telling.
I hope he gets up before I die. And I'm not a young girl.
How old are you?
92. Naturally, that's one of the things I wish for too, that he get out and get another start on life and do some good.
The Cobbs say they believe when the killer shot Officer Gail Cobb in 1974, he took 2 lives, hers and her son Damon's as well. He says he still thinks of his mother all the time.
And Sam, thank you for that story. A number of people have had life sentences but have gotten out eventually, right?
Yes, indeed. And he told me that in his prison experience, he's known 10 people who had life sentences and 8 of them are out. Now he wants to be part of that group.
And covering Maryland now, a new medical center will expand labor and delivery services in Prince George's County. The State Health Commission gave the $300 million project the green light yesterday. And the center will be built in Lanham and consist of 2 floors dedicated to labor and delivery. Healthcare leaders say this will go a long way to improving the county's maternal mortality rate of 28%, and that is 2% higher than the state average. The first delivery in the soon-to-be-constructed center could come in 2028.
Well, coming up, after 50 years, a D.C. journalism legend is hanging up the mic. Our Sam Ford joins us in studio as we take another look back at his prolific TV news career.
Well, it is a very bittersweet day here at 7 News. After decades telling your stories, our Sam Ford is retiring.
And with Sam always being out in the field, he has, of course, become friends with journalists from the other stations here in D.C., and some of them sent over special messages for Sam. Take a look.
Sam, you're not in Kansas anymore, and though I know your heart is back there in Kansas, your soul for many, many years has been right here in the city of Washington. You've done it all for Channel 7 as the bureau chief of the District of Columbia. Now it's time to move on. Happy trails, Sam, and good news always.
I just want to wish you the best of luck, an awesome person, an incredible journalist, a titan of local journalism for sure. Whenever we're out on the same story, you know everyone knows you, a lot of integrity, a lot of respect across the board. I just wanted to wish you the best of luck in your retirement. You deserve it.
Hey Sam, Tom Sherwood here. So, I started going through all the campaigns that you and I have covered over the years. And then I thought, damn, there are too many of them. Seriously, Sam, you are a great competitor. All best wishes as you retire.
Sam Ford, retiring after all these years. It's about damn time. You've been a neighbor, a mentor, a colleague, and a competitor. But most importantly, you've been my good friend. I wish you the very best, and I look forward to seeing you at Turkey Bowl.
It's just so clear the impact that you've made, even to your opponents across the street there.
Well, you know, when he used to work here, you know, Mark Seagraves did, but yeah, Sherwood did. He's quite a person.
Yes, he is.
Actually, I really like Tom Sherwood.
Brad, what can you say?
You know, it's great to see those tributes from our colleagues at the other stations. What's kind of neat for me is to actually be in the same space as Sam, because we're out in the field all the time.
Right.
And so we spend time with Pat Collins and the guys at the other station. We don't often get to see each other.
Yeah.
But I've said this before, we have worked together now for 33 years. Sam was the first person from this station I met, and it was before I started here.
True.
And he was sitting on a bench outside the prison up in Jessup, and we had a little chat about me coming here, and he offered me a warm welcome. And you know, I've got to tell the viewers out there that this guy is for real.
Yeah,
we just saw his very last story, and that was a Sam Ford story. He found in the community this tale that involved human beings, humanity. And he cares about the man who's in prison, about the family that has grieved, about the officer. He cares about this city. He cares about the people.
And you know, I got to say this, that 10 years ago, I tried to get the interview with this guy,
Wow.
and the Maryland prison system turned me down. So I called him. I said, Brad, can you get me in that prison so I can interview this guy? He took care of it.
Well, I still have the key from when I was there. Yeah. Sam, is it true, though, that you once fell asleep at a red light with a photographer?
Oh, so John Mann's been talking, huh?
It all comes
yeah,
out.
we were out. They were doing census, counting people that were homeless sleeping on the streets. So me and John Mann were out all night with these census takers, and I remember we were at a red light somewhere downtown, and we both fell asleep.
That's the hard part about this business, is remembering all the stories and all the experiences.
There's so many
we've had. There've been a lot.
Sure.
Is this the same suit you were wearing when you showed up to cover the hurricane with me?
No.
Wow. Okay.
Different
Just
attire for that one.
Decades of experience. I just want some of that to rub off on me a little bit there. Thank you so much, Sam, and Brad as well. Right in the same category. Two legends here in the building, and again,
I'm still here.
Yeah,
I'm not going anywhere. No announcements
please
for
don't
me.
go anywhere soon.
Yeah.
We don't want another one of
He's a lot
these
younger
anytime
than
soon.
me, you know?
Yes.
Oh, you both are just amazing, and a couple years of experience right here in
Yes.
between us.
Well,
Just
thank
a
you.
few. Yeah,
Yes.
it's pretty legendary. So thank you both.
Pleasure to be here for Sam.
And we're going to continue to celebrate Sam's incredible legacy, continuing tonight at 6 o'clock.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, just so authentic and warm and real, and can't wait to see what Sam's going to do in the next chapter there. I know he's got some hobbies. So we'll find out again more coming up in the next couple of minutes here. Let's get you prepared for the weekend. Saturday is going to be dynamic, mild, and dry. We've got Sunday at 57 degrees, also mild, but with some wind-driven rain. So we're on flood alert right now, especially for the evening hours. Already getting a look, too, at next weekend because it's Christmas Eve on Sunday. Got a great blog that I think we just posted a few moments ago at WJLA.com on our chances of a white Christmas. You can see on Christmas Eve, certainly no chance of that at 53 degrees with partly cloudy skies. Temperatures just way warm for even next weekend. Right now, we are looking at some snow, though. Winter Green Resort there in Virginia. The camera panning around. They do have snow on the ground. Temperatures overnight will be dipping down into the 20s, upper 20s to around 30 degrees. For our area tomorrow, we're up to 56. Partly sunny, winds light, but out of the east-northeast, so that's going to allow some high clouds to come over us. No rain expected tomorrow. Your zoo lights, whatever location you're going to, and there is a lot of spots for taking in the Christmas lights around the area. So tomorrow, zoo lights here, 5 to 9 o'clock at the National Zoo, 50 degrees at 6 o'clock, 46 by 8 p.m. Getting a little chilly as clouds make their way into the area. So cloudy one for sure. By noon on Sunday, here's where the showers will be showing up around Lorain, Warrenton, and Leesburg. Notice nothing too heavy here. You're not seeing the colors of yellow or orange or red showing up. However, as we get into the evening after 7 p.m., that's what's going to be overspreading the area. The more intense rains. Look at this by 9 o'clock. You're on the road, pretty intense, reduced visibility, likely some ponding to some of the poor drainage areas, and then more of that through 11 p.m., midnight, 2 o'clock Monday morning. Some of the rainfall totals now showing up by early Monday morning when this kind of starts to ease. Even around 3 inches. So there is a possibility of that with winds as high as 45 miles per hour Sunday late evening. Again, some power outages all possible around the area. Spotty, moderate tidal flooding, some ponding. I mentioned that, the poor driving conditions, and some isolated flooding, flash flooding, even a chance of that. Your free First Alert weather app, always have that handy throughout the weekend. You can even get a look at the blogs that we'll be updating. Flood alert for Sunday, wind alert on Monday, cold alert on Tuesday, with wind chill temperatures that'll start out in the teens to around 20 degrees. And then next week, of course, first day of winter, the winter solstice Thursday, also a high temperature at 50 degrees or higher. That's a look at the 7-day forecast, and back in a few minutes with more on that Sunday, Monday, Tuesday big storm system.
All right, BJ, thank you. And in St. Mary's County, kids might have seen a special guest in the skies today. Santa and his elves paid Southern Maryland a visit with a special helicopter flyover thanks to the U.S. Navy. And during the flight, he spread some holiday cheer and did some last-minute list checking ahead of Christmas Eve.
And take a look at this cool Christmas light display. Our cameras caught this mini light show this week at a park on 10th Street in Northwest D.C. We are seeing the holiday spirit spread all across the DMV. And we want to see how you are spending the holidays as well. Send us your best pictures and videos through Chime In on the free 7 News app online. Well, coming up all new at 6, our farewell to Sam Ford continues with a conversation between lifelong friends. Sam tells the story when he first wanted to become a reporter.
Oh, can't wait for that. But first, next at 5, a terror plot busted in Europe. More on the arrests and what U.S. officials are saying now in response.